it's the grind. That's definitely a grind
Yeah.
where you're doing beyond 12-hour days
Mm-hmm.
around there. That just takes a lot of mental fortitude.
Yeah.
So kudos.
Yeah.
I like
Yeah. I've been doing that more like the past couple of weeks. I've been doing that a lot more lately, just working more on my own personal stuff, and then um it, like I can take the time to, if I need to go to the gym or whatever, I have time to actually go and do that now, instead of waiting until 5 o'clock when now I'm available, and I don't get to the gym until like 5:30, 6 o'clock. Then I don't get home until like 7. But I think like the more I pursue my own business, the more I allow myself to, like, yeah, it's a lot of work, but like you control your own hours.
But
So
yeah, there's a difference with your own work,
yeah,
being your own boss.
yeah,
I think it's way more rewarding and motivating
mm-hmm.
when you know that the pressure solely on yourself, and then you can perform based off of that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
then you have the security of your regular job still.
Mm-hmm.
Where you and I are in the same boat with that.
Yeah.
And I think I've got some learning to do when it comes to your work ethic.
You know,
You gotta give yourself credit where credit's due.
I'll take your compliment. I that is one thing I'm trying to work on and get better at, is taking compliments. It's not that I don't appreciate the compliment. It's I don't know how to take it. I don't know how to like accept it, that that's the person's observation about me, and I have to, and it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's like I immediately try to reject the idea of that I am that.
Look at it this way: we, in discussing it, we have something to learn from each other.
No, I'm perfect.
Fine. I'm just gonna leave.
Why don't you leave, Ben?
Well, yeah, I think yeah, we're both I know you're trying to grow your business. I'm trying to grow my business
Mhm.
too.
Yeah.
And we'd love to talk more about it. Yeah,
We're not. What are you talking about? I don't understand.
Okay.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and look who we have back on the podcast again. It's
Thank you for having me again.
Benjamin, or Ben. Better, he likes Ben.
Ben's easier to say.
Yeah. What about Mercedes Benz with our little Z on the end?
Oh, yeah, I love to have one of those.
We will get you a Mercedes. You know what? I know a bald fella who would love to give you his.
Oh,
Maybe we'll get him on the podcast. He could talk about his Mercedes Benz.
I'd be looking forward to hearing about the stories with his Mercedes.
Oh, you should ride in his back seat on the way down to Ocean City, Maryland. Let's see if you survive. Going 120 miles per hour is like white lining it. No, I'm kidding. He doesn't white line it. But we were mainly kind of talking about like business and small businesses, or in our own each individual small businesses and stuff like that. But the one thing that's kind of changing the idea of like what a business is and how it develops is AI. And I think in the last podcast episode that I think every podcast episode that I've had, there's some relevancy to AI in some shape or form.
It comes
You know what
up.
I mean?
It comes up a lot.
It's the talk of the town, and yet it doesn't generate a lot of revenue.
Not yet, but people who are clever are going to figure it out sooner than later, I would imagine.
I disagree with your statement.
How so?
No, just for the sake of disagreeing, because I don't want to be in agreement with you. That's why.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about it.
No, I don't want to talk about it. It's whose podcast is this, Ben? Mine or yours?
I'm the captain.
This is my fish tank. You're just swimming in it. No, I'm kidding.
Well, yeah. AI. It's pervaded everything.
Yeah.
Including small business and growing them.
What is your ideal? I know you kind of like talked about your own personal business, but like I've mentioned to you on the last time that you were here on the podcast, there is a little difference between my outline and your outline. Don't act so surprised. You're like, I've never experienced that before.
Go ahead.
But there is a secret segment and there is an intro segment, which you've been on before, so you kind of know a little bit about what that is. So, intro question. What if you could build any type of business besides the one that you're working on right now? Like the most ideal, like it would work instantaneously. What business would you create and why?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Dog walking business.
Oh, yeah.
Never existed
If I
before.
could get a humanoid AI to walk my dog, that'd be great. But, oh man, that's a hard one. A business idea with AI. I would want to fully automate something.
Mhm.
I just don't know what yet.
Yeah.
If I could fully automate, I would get a fully automated 3D printing farm.
Hmm.
And then there's an AI in the printer, and it would just telepathically know based on my inputs what I want to print, and I wouldn't have to configure anything.
Sure. What's Neuralink? I mean, there it is.
Oh, yeah.
How do we feel about having your subconscious being connected to AI with Neuralink?
I don't feel good about that at all.
Yeah, so let's backtrack a little bit.
Dial it back. That's a scary thought, putting a chip in my head.
Yeah, I don't think I want to do that. I don't even want to put a chip in my hand. You know that some of the people that have gotten the chips in like the webbing of between their index finger and their thumb.
Yeah.
It's like the size of a grain of rice.
What does it do?
It helps you. So it's a security measure to scan into like a office or a building.
Oh man.
And I'm like, just use a key card or just use some other form. I'm not implanting anything in my hand just to get into it. Look, if my job is requiring me to do that, I won't be working there.
That's very Orwellian.
What is that?
Orwellian's George Orwell wrote about like Big Brother and dystopian ideas like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's like your life is controlled in such a way that it's an infringement on freedom and liberty. That's a slippery slope to be putting like a chip in your hand.
Yeah, but
and a chip in your head.
This is my thought process.
Your number.
They sell you on the illusion of freedom of choice, but in reality, it's exactly what they want from you.
Yeah, in other words, like I feel like I'm the product when it comes, like I would be the product when it comes to essentially being harvested for data. I think
We already are.
I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah.
That's another step further to put a chip, because that chip can monitor anything about your body.
Yeah.
And then
I kind of like that saying. Companies and the government sell you the illusion of free will. Okay, and the reason why I say that, and people would be like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Well, what I'm talking about specifically is, I talked about this with my friend, Isa, before. Marketing is a very powerful thing. Do you know what, I'm trying to think of it, think of what the term is actually called. It is, okay, have you ever watched a movie, and in that movie or TV show, you see like a Coca-Cola can, and they blatantly show
like an ad.
Yeah. It's called something. I'm blanking on the term, but it's they literally do that. And so if I wanted to have my MacBook displayed in a movie that's being displayed across multiple movie theaters, you legally cannot show the Apple logo in it without, one, consulting them, and then two, legally paying for it to have their product in it, which is why you will see a label or a cover covering the Apple logo or any other logo,
right?
So that way they don't have to pay for that. That's a way around it. But anytime they show the Apple logo, they've already gone through the hoops to pay for it and et cetera.
Some sort of royalty.
Right. So the idea of having a Coca-Cola can, not just once, not just twice, but like at least 10 to 20 times, I don't know how many times, but 10 to 20 times throughout the 2-hour-long movie, the idea is that psychologically it trains your brain. Like every time you see it, you're like, you just see it once, nothing happens. But by the 5th time, you finish the movie and you're like, huh, I kind of want a Coca-Cola, right? I want Coke right now.
I studied this in my undergrad.
Mm-hmm.
This behavior in economics,
Product placement, by the way, is that's what it's called.
product placement and what it does to people psychologically. In economics, I think it's closely related to the Galbraith effect.
Mm-hmm.
John Galbraith was an economist, and he studied economics, and then I think tangentially psychology with people and their buying habits. And the Galbraith effect, I think, to paraphrase it, is based on what you said, and that people seeing such things like advertisements like that, it creates the demand for that whatever that product is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if he won some sort of monetary award for that or what, but
Mm-hmm.
I that's my best interpretation of that.
Right. Yeah. it's kind of, so to kind of transition a little bit back to like the business side of it / AI, because we kind of went off
I know,
a little
yeah,
tangent,
yeah.
but it's the dream versus the reality of what AI can do for companies. If I'm referring back to Coca-Cola, they had, I think it was Coca-Cola, they recently came out with like a an ad, and that they ended up taking down, where they were like, yeah, we used 10,000 or 90,000 prompts in AI to create an advertisement. And it was like,
Wow.
it's like, okay, well, it took you 90,000 prompts to have AI create a subpar ad when you could have just paid somebody to do that ad, and it would have been significantly better, and it would have taken less time. I'm confused here. I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, they're trying to push the limit of the benefit of pushing AI's capability.
Right.
I'm with you. When it comes to the human side of things, try to keep, why not leverage that capability as much as possible? Is that
Right.
kind of,
Yeah, I just don't know, like the idea is to allow, like, using AI and prompts. The idea is to create a process that speeds up development time with and saves cost. But like at this rate, in 90,000 prompts, like how long is that that realistically is that taking, rather than having a professional come in, direct it, have the people, and then you get it done in half the time. I mean, the whole point is if you're spending more time to fulfill a specific project, then you're not really saving any money. Like theoretically, like, yeah, we used AI, it saved us money theoretically, but like time, goes back to the whole phrasing of time is money.
It's true. Right? And just to add to that, I think one of the most valuable ways of learning is through experience.
Yeah.
And they're trying that with AI, but you're striking the line between tried and true methods of creating advertisements versus new ways with AI. So it's a balance.
Yeah, I mean, there is a balance between having to use it. I mean, it is a tool. I think now with smaller businesses, it's helpful, because I'm sure you've experienced a similar issue, where you are, the best analogy that I've heard, and this is from a YouTuber, YouTube channel called MKBHD. He's a tech YouTube channel. But he was explaining how he ended up building what is known as his business now. And because he was originally it was a one-man band. And essentially, when in any business, this is the part that I'm kind of translating into my own words, but essentially anytime you start a business, you are being an octopus. His word specifically. You have 8 tentacles.
Yep.
Doing 8 different things.
Yeah.
And to relate that's like, you're writing the copy, you're organizing the projects, you're doing the actual project, you're sending meeting invitations out to, or emails out to people, or whatever you're doing like a plethora of different things, right? And that normally in a company or in a job setting, you're distributing that or delegating that to other employees. So you're really only working on like maybe 2 things, right?
Right.
But in this case, when you're a small business owner, you're doing a significant amount of stuff.
Everything.
Yeah. And the idea with AI, the dream is to be like, is to have AI assist you with a lot of these things, so that way so you can focus on the things that matter.
Yeah, I think I'm living that dream with my business.
Yeah?
I think I found a balance with AI.
Doubt it. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, well, okay, listen to how it's been going.
Yeah, for sure.
I've started my business in the past, so it's been ongoing 1 year now. And so I right when AI is getting on the scene, I'm like, all right, chat, what can we cook? And so I think of it this way, as siloing my bandwidth of thinking. I have the overall vision of what I want to do. The business is surrounding and designing mountain bike gear. That's what I want to do.
Right.
And I've been in the research and development stage for a year now, and AI has been my companion to that. And in prototyping, I'm making protective gear for the body. And what I've done, how I've used it, where I actually have used AI for ideation and inspiration. And I say, generate some images for me. Here's a description of the flavor and design style I'm looking at. And it, lo and behold, it generated image after image after image. And in like that, 3D renders of 2-dimensional images. And I say, okay, that gives me a good starting point. And then I one day I sat down with a bucket of clay.
Yeah.
And I started modeling for the first time. I was using my hands. I had the picture of what it was in front of me, and I was trying to get as close to my idea as possible.
Right.
I got like maybe halfway with my intent.
Yeah.
But and actually, what I ended up creating branched off from what AI came up with, and I still feel like I can call it my own design, as it's a poor imitation of what the AI came up with. But it works for me, and that's the direction I've been going.
Yeah, I think honestly, like I like the word that you used, companion. The word companion is I'm sorry.
From the movie Her. Are you lonely, Justin? No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my god.
Oh,
I like the idea, companion.
We're gonna cut it here. Yeah. All right, and we're back.
Cut. I like the idea of companion because, it's very true to form. It's like it's like having a business partner, right? And you need help, and it's like the thing is like people used to do a lot of this on their own way beforehand, without the help of AI. Now, like, you have somebody to help you, and I'm literally in the same boat as you. Like, when I'm doing a lot of this podcast stuff, I don't have AI write my stuff for me. I don't have it design any of the thumbnails or anything like that. Yeah. Because I know how to design, I know how to like create, but it's more about the time that you're spending, right? And I'm trying to optimize the amount of time so I have more time to do other stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's not necessarily like play games or something like that, but it's like I need to make this process faster. Not so because I'm a one-man band, so I need to find a way to streamline this, at least as best as I can.
Yeah. You can think of it as you can make an analogy to computers. You're growing a countertop space, and your like ROM size to do many processes at once. That's AI's perfect for that.
Yeah. So it's crazy how useful it is. The one thing I'm not super keen on is when you ask it for feedback, it or like if you were giving me feedback, you would give me your honest opinion or thought process behind it, where AI kind of sugarcoats it for you a little bit. At least ChatGPT does.
It does. You have to check its work.
And like, cause I've sometimes I'll have an idea and I want to know genuinely if that idea is a good idea or a bad idea. But it'll say, no, like it's a good idea. Or and then it's like, well, there's a certain phrase for that actually. I'll have to look it up. But there's a phrase for what AI does. It gives you a lot of positive reinforcement instead of critiquing you the way that it should.
Confirmation bias.
Yes. And like you can say, hey, like I want you to give me your honest opinions. Do you think this is a good idea, or are you just,
or is it like the genie in the lamp?
Yeah.
And you have to scrutinize what it is it's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Click on the links, dive down. I went through that with my gear designing of like especially the material that I've been selecting.
Yeah.
It's you gotta what multi-layer gear. Gotta find what's compatible with what, and so it's along those lines.
Yeah. Well, I know you're really big into mountain biking, but like what got you to the point of like you're like, know what, I want to make my own gear? Were you not finding the things that you wanted to find, or like were you not finding what you were looking for, or you're like, I can do this better, or I can have an idea that to make this better?
I want to marry functional gear with gear that looks amazing.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. I want to look sexy while riding. So
what?
Yeah.
Ben, you can't say that.
Well, we can. No, we can edit that part out.
All right, don't make that. I'm serious. Don't make. Okay. No, I'm kidding.
Wait. Oh my God. I think.
That's funny.
Oh no, you got me.
No, that makes sense. I guess because I'm not into mountain biking like that. Do you think is the equipment that's currently available or readily available, is it just not really your style? Or
I'm making it for the purpose of doing the flavor I'm going for is a boutique brand of mountain bike gear that doesn't exist yet, and it's going to be catered toward adventure riders, and they do lots of cross country riding, and then maybe kind of from there branching off, almost as if you were an astronaut on Earth, exploring wherever it is you go. That's the target market I'm hoping to appeal to with the gear.
Interesting.
And I don't think there's anything like that out there right at the moment.
Yeah. And you had also mentioned that you're having it create 3D renders and stuff like that for you, right?
Yeah, they're 3D renders,
but it's all your this is your vision, right? And you're just kind of like, hey, I need a render for this. Can you give me a render?
That's exactly
it. Okay,
it.
gotcha.
And then from there, I have a 3D scanner. I 3D scan the clay models I make, put that file into a virtual space, into a CAD program, and from there you do some tweaks, and then it spits out a file, and then all of a sudden you're 3D printing your imagination right before your eyes, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Everyone should have a 3D printer in their household.
All right, Ben, buy me the best 3D printer that money can buy.
All right. When those stimmy checks come in.
Mr. Big Bucks McGee.
No, yeah, it's kind of like how people used to have, or still do have, sewing machines in their house, or they should be or like, you know what I mean, or just appliances in general. It should be a staple in everyone's house.
Sure.
For education too.
Yeah. The reason why I asked about like how you're prompting it is because the quality with AI can vary, and like that's why I was inquiring, because it's like, well, if you're doing it yourself and making sure you're getting it Like you have the idea, you want it, you have a certain type of perfection that you want it to be, and you're not going to settle for anything less than that. But at least for a lot of people who utilize AI, they use it to a very like rudimentary degree, and it's like if it looks good, it's good enough. Like, and they just
Right.
mass produce it. But with like going back to the Coca-Cola commercial, there are still there are moments where AI just cannot do what you're expecting it to do. 3D rendering, or in this case, I'm writing like the description for the episode. It can do well with grammar. Like it does well with grammar. It can do well with 3D rendering or modeling, or it can do well with website or helping me problem solve with code. Great stuff. But when you're having it do like a commercial or an ad, that's when you're getting into some risky business. So the quality, there's drawbacks to having the quality, to having AI do it, because you're not getting pristine quality, like especially when you're paying, if you are paying the subscription for AI. Like in the end, it's like, is it cheaper than hiring somebody to do it? If you're, let's say you're a full-time business, is it cheaper to do it that way or to hire somebody? I mean, I guess it depends. It's technically supposed to be cheaper, but
it depends on the industry.
sure.
Yeah, there with as far as filming things go, I think I still think the filming side of things should be, you if you want to keep quality,
Mm-hmm.
keep it, put the human first with it.
Mm-hmm.
I know you also get into ethical things with it too.
Yeah.
Keeping people employed.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna see a lot of jobs go away pretty soon, and then and then there will be a few small group of people who then manage the AI daily. It should, so it's a gray area for sure.
Yeah, I can 100% agree with you on that. It's completely different in the sense, like jobs have changed over time with technology, and like I talked about this with Austin on another podcast episode, but essentially, like he was mentioning there was a guy that would drive down your neighborhood and light the street lights, like with like a candle or whatever.
Oh yeah.
But now you don't really have that. He's like, that job, that doesn't exist anymore. I was like, well, technically it still does, because people still come through and they replace the light bulb and they put in a new one. Like, right? So that's a scenario where the technology has changed, but the job is still technically there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Right.
But but with AI, that technology is not necessarily, it's not going to do that. It's going to completely eradicate any need to hire somebody for that position, right? Like, so it's one of those things where if you're creating a business, and like I said, we're both business owners, and we're trying to create our own empires, so to speak. It's at the point now where normal development time from a human is too long, because they've seen how quickly AI can make it. And at that point, they don't really care about the quality. So they're just like, I'll just have AI do it, save a whole bunch of money. I won't spend thousands of dollars. I'll just spend X amount of money on AI building me a website. I'll use myself for an example.
Yeah.
And they don't want to pay the said amount of money. Now, for your case scenario, you're selling a product, so that's it's a little different.
Yeah.
But then you kind of run into a similar issue. Let's say like now you have employees, right? And it's like, well, you don't really need to hire as many employees, because you have AI can do exactly what you need it to do.
Yeah, it's a very lean way of operating a business.
Mm-hmm.
That's how some pro AI people would probably view that.
Right.
So you're, yeah, again, industry dependent on what it is AI is appropriate for and what it's not appropriate for.
Right.
I I first noticed it with artists.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it's a big the AI's thing that AI's invaded or perverted
Mm-hmm.
artwork
Mm-hmm.
of well-known artists combining different styles together that were once a thing unique to that artist. And so I think the law that currently is in place is not keeping up with AI.
No.
Not at
No.
all. I think whatever content is being viewed online, for example, related to your case, I think especially with videos should be watermarked with AI. They should come up with some sort of algorithm to detect AI, majority AI made content.
Right.
I think a law should be passed to watermark such things, but that gets hairy.
Yeah.
That gets really like, who's to decide? Can another piece of software detect that?
I mean, it should be able to detect AI using, because I mean, it's all code that's being used to create said image, so it should be able to. I mean, I'm super simplifying. I'm oversimplifying that process.
I'd be optimistic that
yeah.
it could be done, and then you're sort of erasing a gray area to let people know up front, to be transparent that what they're viewing is AI.
It's interesting that you mentioned transparency, because when you use AI in a business setting, or you're an influencer of some kind, or anything, whether it's YouTuber, influencer, business owner, whatever you are, and you're using AI, or even game developers, if you are not clearly clearly stating that you used AI in the process of making said product, game, podcast, whatever, or at least like, hey guys, I used AI for this. If you're not stating that, people, the community, get very upset.
They do.
It's like, and that's kind of the issue. It's like, you consumers and business owners, so everybody alike, want the quick results of AI, but they also don't want you to know that you're using AI.
Yeah,
it's a very weird concept. It's a very weird parallel.
Take game development. You mentioned, you brought it up, of different, not, games aren't entirely made from AI.
No,
parts of it,
not yet.
Parts of it are not yet.
Yeah,
we're not there yet.
Mm-hmm.
Parts of it are.
Mm-hmm.
There are, for example, your graphics in a game. Some of the GPUs are equipped with AI nowadays, and they like do some crazy things.
Yeah. There's like AI upscaling. Yeah.
And then you ask the question, well, have artists been mostly filling in the artwork or making it to look good? Was that a human effort to make it look that good, or is it mostly AI? People, I think, should know. They should know what work goes into that.
Yeah,
to give credit.
I especially now, since things are getting, the gray line between AI and reality is starting to blur. I think now it should be more disclosed more than ever.
Yeah.
Just because, especially with like artwork, like me personally, coming from like an art perspective, like or like a artsy background, like I understand how people would want to use AI for any type of graphic use, because if you're not a graphic designer, like, you got to pay for it. And being a small business owner, if you don't have those skills, it's like, well, I don't have the money to pay somebody to do it. So like, I kind of need a way to be able to do this. I think, again, I see AI as a tool. Like, it's primarily as a tool. Like, exactly how you use Microsoft Word, or how you use Excel, or any other program. I think it should be treated exactly like that. But people don't use it that way. They use it as, they're completely dependent.
It's like a crutch.
Yeah.
It can be a crutch, and that's a bad route to go down. You and I both know, if we had the means to go hire someone, we would do it in a heartbeat. And I would still disclose, whether by law or not, if AI was used, even ethically. I'm leaning toward over the side of the fence of disclosing it, because to me that's being transparent with whoever are buying your products.
Right.
I would do that. I would say AI inspired design, human made, hand,
Yeah.
something
Would
along those
you?
lines.
Do you think you would, if you had employees right now? Do you think you would? Force is a very strong word, but do you think that you would heavily suggest that they use AI in their process? And like, if they were, let's say you had somebody who was doing the 3D rendering, do you think that you would specifically have them use AI to create it faster, or would you trust them enough that you're like, okay, like they're professional, they know what they're doing, like I would much rather them take their time and turn out a quality product instead of using AI?
I would want them to lean toward their human capability to design something, and then log, if in the name of transparency, I would have them disclose and log the use of AI and the time spent with AI
Right.
to track that usage, and then you can decide how much of it was AI, how much of it was human made.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important.
Yeah.
People, yeah, I would first and foremost tell them and encourage them to lean into their very human talents above all else. And then I at least I would feel better about putting that out to the world to buy, and I'm sure they would too. They would get the credit they deserve, knowing that they had the majority of their hands in making it.
Yeah. I think the reason why I asked that is because, like, you need to find the golden balance between, like, using it and then, like, how much is too much, right? Finding the golden balance. And I think a lot of companies are forcing their employees to use it instead of making it optional. And so, like, as two people who don't have employees, like, ideally, the way I see it is, like, and also kind of what you explained earlier too, is I would want to hire people and to predominantly use AI as, like, a reference. Like, hey, like, if you're a copywriter, for example, or if you're a content specialist, like, you're making the copy, you are very well efficient at writing, at grammar, at punctuations, and stuff like that. But you're still human, so you could still make mistakes. I think I wouldn't enforce that they would use it, but I would say, like, hey, if you would like to use AI, you're more than welcome to use AI to have it, like, check any of your stuff.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, make sure you're having, like, 3 or 4 eyes on this, and review it before it goes out.
You say, hey, use AI to keep your work on the guide rails. And then, as with any tool, here's a resource in the company to go to be trained on using the approved AI. My company did that.
Yeah.
They provided trainings on the AI that's approved for use. So and it's been a utility ever since.
Right.
Just like Excel, Word, and
What's the one piece of technology that everybody has in their house, and you use it to, it's usually stationary or portable, and you use it to search for information and do any type of productivity or even play games?
Yeah.
What piece of technology is that?
Got the it's I mean, it's many things.
I'm purposely being vague, but, like, what?
Yeah.
What specific device is that?
It's the computer,
right?
For stars, but yeah.
That device alone has changed how people work, but fundamentally, it's a tool. Like, all you use it for, I mean, some people don't use it for that at all, but like, a lot of people use it for video editing, animation, 3D rendering, for idea generation, script writing, countless things, web design, web development, graphic design. There's a multitude of things that people use a laptop for, but people see it as a laptop. That's what they see it as. They don't see it as this end all be all solution for all of their, I mean, some people probably do, but end all be all solution for all of their problems. They just know they need it so it can help them optimize their workflow. And that's why I see AI as, they're not the same, but I see it as similar as a laptop. A laptop helps you streamline your workflow, helps you, because like imagine if you had to write everything down by hand. That would take forever.
Hand drafting things.
Imagine if you had to draw everything instead of digitizing it. Like, you know, you can use like a Wake tablet or an iPad and draw it on your screen, and there you go. You don't have to digitize it anymore. Simplifying a lot of this process, but essentially you can see how, like, when you break down what a laptop essentially is, it's mainly just a tool. But like AI is one of those things where it's just people want to completely rely on it, be dependent. They don't want to do any of the work. They're just like, I just want to have it do it all for me.
You're suggesting a risk of people not being able to critically think, people losing that capability.
It's already happening.
That's what I think universities are contending with right now. I saw it with my little brother a little bit in his assignments, and it's you gotta warn against it. And as a society, we gotta be warned against abusing AI.
It's weird because a lot of teachers when we were growing up would always say, like math class specifically, if you know what I'm thinking of, they would say one specific phrase: don't rely on that calculator because you're not going to be able to take it with you wherever you go. Lady, sir, I have news for you.
I got a news flash. I use all the time.
There is a magical laptop, a glass slab that I carry in my pocket 24/7, and that can do any type of math equation you can think of.
It's actually scary because people could almost think of, if enough people forget about how math works and over the years and just rely on AIs, then we might lose our ability to think and to be productive in that sense. Only a handful of wizards are gonna have the know-how to advance people forward technologically. There was a real concern.
There was an TikTok that I watched, and it was this there was this girl talking about a specific piece of writing that was written by a poet or something like that. I can't remember who the guy was, but and basically she said that there is proof that people are losing the ability to not only write effectively, but also understand and digest intricate writing and understand what it means. And so she's like, she put it up on screen and she's like, take a minute to read through this. And before you get to the end of the video, like I'll explain what it means, but read through it. And if you can't understand what is trying to be conveyed through this, or what this person is trying to articulate through their writing, you can see that you're steadily losing the ability to critically think on somebody's writing.
It's scary.
And so like I was reading through it, and I could understand like the majority of what it was talking about, but there was she goes on and explains and stuff like that. But I guarantee you there are people that they would read through it and have no idea what it was trying to convey at all.
Yeah. We're gonna have to educate our children on it. But to your point, I thought of ways to keep the mind sharp when it comes to critical thinking, and it's actually what you just said. I feel like we should be encouraged to tell more stories and to look at how stories are told and their creative ways to keep a grasp on those kind of ideas. It helps keep the mind sharp to study that way of, I guess, telling experience through story. I feel like storytelling is a lost art,
Yeah.
or like a dying art. I mean,
Yeah. The pen is mightier than the sword type of thing, but also there is like there's a famous artist that I really like. His name is J. Cole, and he's more into like rap and stuff like hip hop. But like he has, I think obviously rap has like a weird type of connotation on it, but the way that he has mastered wordsmithing, it's insane. And like there are some artists that don't really care about the words that they're using, but um there is one specific element that he or the phrasing that he does, but like if you look at his lyrics and stuff like that, the way that he moves words around, it's dude, like it's just effortless. I'm like,
it's like, whoa.
I appreciate that, because it's the wordplay that you use. Like you have to really know what a lot of these words mean, word means, and really like pair them with other words so it makes sense and stuff like that. And it's an art. There's an art to it.
They could you have like, through music you almost embed symbology in your words, that when they're paired together, and you think outside the box of what they mean together, or they're alluding to something obscure, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like,
I never really appreciated
from?
like poetry for what it was in school, but now seeing it used in its full potential, like it's one of those things where I don't think AI could really deliver on that, to be honest. I think you could have it emulate an example.
It can try and come close.
Yeah.
But there's something really human about weaving words together.
Yeah.
I don't think AI will. It's gonna be a long time before it keeps up.
Yeah. How do you see AI changing small businesses as they go forward? Obviously, like streamlining the process, but like, how else do you see?
I see it changing when it comes to administrating the actual business. So the boring day-to-day things of transacting and lowering the effort put into the actual selling of your stuff. And then, so that's one thing. The second thing I see changing will be to helping your business cycle in the industry you're in, and the marketing and the advertising. I think that's going to help increase your time to basically stay relevant with whatever you're coming up with and selling. So those are a couple of things that just came to mind.
Sure.
What about you?
Oh, well, don't do that. I personally think, honestly, like my vision for AI is fairly like narrow, if I'm gonna be honest. Like
narrow scope of usage.
Yeah. I just don't. Besides like general like idea generation, and helping optimize, saving me some time. I guess I don't really see it as anything more than that, which is again very narrow-minded or short-sighted. But I guess what I would ideally love it to be able to do is kind of remove some of the. Let me preface by saying I think you need to love the entirety of the process to fully appreciate it. But I would love it to remove some of the monotonous or mundane things that are in between, that it takes too much of your time. And like there's things that it can't do right now because it's very like manual based. Like for example, like I ended up, so the calendar app that I had you submit the meeting, or like to book a podcast episode with, I set up an automation to have it once you book it, it goes through this automation where it gets sent to another platform, Asana, and then from Asana it makes a task, and it says episode 1 and episode 2 with Ben. And at that point, but so I had to do all that manually. What
Right.
would have been great is that if I could just like talk to AI and say, hey, I have this app. I want you to do all the integrations for me. I don't have time to do that. Can you do this for me? And then also I want you to save it to my calendar. So that way my personal calendar, so which it through the automation, so that way I don't have to do any of that. And it just does it. I see it as like a more in-depth version of a companion. I guess that's what
being a
Yeah.
secretary.
Yeah. Like right
Yeah.
now it's like in order for it to do anything, you still have to input. I would ideally like it to be at some point, it's to a point where I just have to, I don't even have to really say, it just knows that I need
You
to
think it and then it's done.
Yeah, without any implants.
Type of work.
Without any
That
of
would
those.
be lovely.
Yeah. But obviously with
Amazing.
anything, even with an employee, you have to tell them like, hey, I need you to do this thing. Even with AI, you kind of have to do this thing. Like, AI in itself inherently cannot operate without human interaction.
Yeah, needs an operator.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're getting into smart AIs.
Mhm.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
We're a few decades away from that.
Yeah. And I think one thing, it's still standing in the golden, the balance between using AI and not, is like make sure that you're always, this is common sense, but make sure you're always double checking your.
I know. I do that with when I enable deep research on chat.
Yeah.
It's you gotta look at, literally I'll pick out the white papers it's referencing, and I'll try and read them and understand them. But
if I'm having it give me some like points or ideas for like points inside of a topic for a podcast episode, and it's giving me like information. Let's say, for example, it's one about music, right? And it's saying like, oh, the 1930s they did X, Y, and Z. I like to say, can you? Because sometimes it doesn't give you the source at all. So like sometimes I like to say, I'll prompt it by saying, can you give me the source that you got this specific information from? Because I'm not going to take your word for it and then say it on a podcast.
I'm gonna scrutinize what it is you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So what do you think this means, like with where AI is now? Where do you think what do you think this means for small businesses alike? People who are either starting, or for you and I who are in the process of trying to, make it happen.
I think it's a huge benefit to get off the ground, so to speak. You're being just a single person at your business.
You're like a single parent.
Yeah, you're having to tend to so many things at once. Just to take the edge off of one of or a few of those tasks means all the difference, and you can focus more on the hands-on things that really fuel your passion. I think AI is going to enable people's small passion for their small business more than ever than without it.
Yeah.
In practicality, I've loved using it for what I do, and I know I have a long road ahead of me to grow my business. And I still am of the opinion that experience will trump whatever I can learn from AI.
All right, cut. He said the negative word on the podcast. TRUMP.
Oh. Sorry, pal.
Get that off my podcast, buddy.
Yeah, lowercase t.
we'll do a lowercase t.
Low t.
Now it's time for that magical moment. Remember how at the very beginning I told you that there was 2 differences between my podcast or my outline and yours? There's the intro question, and now you give your little hot take.
I'm ready.
Cue the music. There's no music. You can't hear the music, but it'll be in post. You'll hear it. Some flames in the background, or the foreground, really. So give your hot take on AI and small businesses. Maybe like something that would be like a controversial take is like, ooh, people wouldn't agree with you that topic, which is more like what a hot take is.
I gotta think about that one.
You got 20 seconds.
A hot take of using AI. I think we should carefully regulate AI that participates in the adult entertainment business.
Wow.
If you virtualize a humanoid robot I'm just speaking off the cuff here.
It's fine.
That's your business if you use that, but that's your business, but it should be allowed.
Yeah.
AI being a companion to people, to each their own, but not for me.
Yeah. My hot take would be, and it's really not even that hot of a take, 'cause I think people would agree with me on this, but I think companies should stop forcing their employees to use AI.
Yeah, encourage the use of it appropriately.
It's there if you want to use it. Don't feel like you have to use it.
Yeah, I agree. I've never heard of that before, but
companies are more and more companies are implementing AI into their business, and they're like, well, we paid for this, so we want you guys to use it, and we also want to streamline the process so we can make more money, and so we want the employees to start using AI.
Here's our standard operating procedure. With AI.
Yeah, it's like
obey.
It's like you're just trying to get to a bottom line, and you want people to make the product faster. And because I guarantee you, as soon as they have the opportunity to have AI 100% do that person's job, they will remove you. They will not pay for you. That doesn't, logically, it doesn't make any sense.
You're going to be out of a job.
Yeah.
To cap it all off, don't lose your humanity when it comes to AI. Keep it for as long as you can.
Yeah. Well, I've kept my humanity on this podcast. I don't know if you kept your sanity on this podcast.
I think I'm doing all right.
But I just wanted to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on another episode of the LeisureHub Podcast. I have been your host, Justin, and alongside me, thank you again, Ben, Thank you again, Ben, for joining me on another expedition.
Thanks for having me on, Justin.
Speaking of which, Expedition 33 lost a whole bunch of awards because they used AI and they did not disclose that. But community behind the fans, they still love that game. It's still widely recognized as a popular game.
What is Expedition 33?
Get off my podcast. It is a turn-by-turn role-playing action-adventure game.
Ooh.
It was made by a AA studio. I don't remember the name of the studio. And they won like 7 awards or something like that.
Yeah, did they get them taken away because?
Yeah, wow. The Game Awards stripped them of the majority of their awards. I don't remember if it was all of them or a few of them.
It's crazy. They got to put in stipulations for the award and how it can be awarded.
Yeah. So that's kind of what I was referring to earlier, is that people are happy when you use it. Before that it came out that they were using AI, everyone was praising it. I mean, the game is still praised.
Yeah.
But like now that it came out, it's like, well, no, don't use that. It's like, well, what do you want? Do you want a small team? There was like a team of like 5 people. I don't know how small or big this team is, but do you want a small team to be able to deliver a really good game, or do you want just a subpar game? I don't know. What do you want? You know what I mean?
As long as you tell people you're cooking with that ingredient of AI, I think that's all. That's the best you can do as a company.
Yeah.
To let people know what all went into it.
Yeah.
And then it gets hairy because what if that thing is a trade secret of using it? What if they want to use that as a competitive advantage against other companies?
Yeah.
That's whatever it is they're using the AI for.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it gets, I think, the most, gray.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Huh?
Yeah. Don't give me a thumbs up. I don't want thumbs up. All I want is a thank you for joining us on this podcast, the LeisureHub Podcast, more specifically, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace. Love you. No, do you know how many mouths have been on that? Plenty.
Not mine.